The Feminine Pulse Show is a safe and nourishing space
for women who desire to explore their power
and dance with their divine masculine and feminine energies.
We invite you on a journey to embody your feminine,
manifest deeper connections,
and be a catalyst for a harmonious, loving world.
Welcome to the Feminine Pulse Show.
How can we get into the flow of money? It seems like, Asma, so many people feel like they're struggling, especially women are struggling with money in particular. And it doesn't have to be a struggle. So how can we get out of that struggle and into like the flow? Because that is the possibility.
I love that question so much. It's like, what is that magic formula that will just get us to rain money all over us? That is so beautiful. For me, like, well, in my life, and then seeing like so many people like from my culture where everybody was struggling with money and like making ends meet, that was just like our daily normal. And then I moved to Canada and people talking about investments and RSPs and planning for your future. And I'm like, what is this? Like, this is the new normal. I didn't even know you needed to do that. Right. And then you talk about other cultures that for them, it's already planned because they live in the present moment, but other people don't even know that there's a future self they need to plan for. And so there's so many interesting aspects of that. But when I start really like tapping into more who am I and my feminine power and connection with that, I realized that money is all about people just trying to chase it or trying to save it or trying to protect it versus I'm like, is it money energy? Isn't money just like what you bring out come back to you and then there's just flow that keeps happening that gets created? And the moment I was thinking that way, like there was like a little shift that happened. It's like, oh, now I'm not here trying to chase money, trying to chase status, trying to chase to prove to others, hey, look at me, I'm making all this money or this luxury or whatever. But it's more about state. I'm like, I trust that money is all around me. I trust that I'm worthy of money. I believe I can create money. I'm a creator. I can create it if I need it, and it's all around me when I want it. So it's just this very interesting like shifts that happens, I think, the moment you tap into something within yourself. What do you think?
I do too. I think if we think of money as currency, there's a flow to that. If we change this paradigm, right? Yeah. So too many people have so much meaning attached to money that they block themselves from it. So we want to really step into a flow. And I think it starts with our belief system of what it is. It's an exchange, of energy for sure. So it's only one form of energy, and we have so many more. But let's focus on that money. What would you say women really where they stand and where can they more powerfully stand with it?
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting. Like when you tell people, hey, let me show you what your true self can do and can create, they have a hard time seeing that. But when you tell them, here's the problem that you're dealing with, they're like, oh, I get it. And so for me, when been working with so many women, the biggest pattern that I've been seeing is that they connect their bank account to their self-worth.
Big
And I think
mistake. Big
huge
mistake.
huge mistake. But here's the funny thing, it's so unconscious that they don't even connect it. And then I'm like, hey, let's work on your self-love. Like, I love myself. I'm like, really? So what is the conversation you have, how much you have in your bank account? And I go, no, no, no. Right. And so it's like, no, you have to disconnect the two. What's in your bank account, the money that you have, has nothing to do with how powerful, how amazing you are. And because we know it, like Laura, that's what we do with women. We are in this place to create remembrance for them, to remember them their power, to tell them there's this paradigm, there's this stories that you have been fed your whole life, or the way society or the way your system around you is teaching you things, but there's another truth within yourself that you just need to uncover it. And so already disconnecting my worth has nothing to do with my bank account or has nothing to do with my job, has nothing to do with my status. I am who I am and I am enough. I think that alone like could really make a big shift. And then people after that see money exactly like you said, it's just a different form of energy.
Yeah, it's an exchange of energy. And when we disconnect, it's one thing to say, let's disconnect and say, I'm worth more. I'm worth something other than money, right? But another way to think about it is start focusing on your magnificence, the
Hmm.
things that make you unique, the talents you've been gifted, the things you're grateful for in your life. When you start generating this positive energy flow, money becomes so much smaller on the scale of values. Money is just currency. It's just something you got to exchange to get goods and services. Okay. It has nothing to do with who you are as a person, and who you are as a person is so much more valuable. Is like you may be one person in the world, but to someone you are their world, right? You
Hmm.
are their world. You have people who care about you, love about you, and you have people who give you such riches of love, and your bank account of love, could be overflowing. And if you focus on that account instead of the money bank account, but the bank account of love, wow, don't you think there might be a little bit more flow of all kinds of accounts coming into your life
Yeah.
with that
I,
energy?
Yeah, and I love when you say that in terms of like thinking about different type of bank account, like the bank account of your relationships, the account of like all the things that you've created, the karma of all like the goodness and the things that you've had it done of your life. But also like I just want to be wary about the people that are listening that we're not saying, hey, go and give your genius to everybody for free and because money is not important. But what we're trying to say here is like, just don't focus on the money as being the main thing because the money becomes just the byproduct of
Right.
everything that you bring into your life, into your business, all your genius, all your superpowers. And that way, because when you do it from that place, you're leading with your soul, you're leading with your purpose versus like, I need to get here because I have this expectation that I need to make money as an outcome. Instead, it becomes just a byproduct of what Laura just said, your
Mhm.
magnetism, your exchange of energy that you've created, and that flow of energy that you're creating in your life.
And when you lead from that positive abundance mindset, from that place of, I have so much value, of course you would get paid for it. Like it's like a
Yeah,
no-brainer, right? That's why
yeah,
I want everybody to start thinking about the fullness of their life, the fullness of all those bank accounts, because they'll with when you recognize how full they are, they all fill up, right?
yeah,
Even the
totally.
monetary one. In fact, I can share a little story. I was unemployed at the time. I had been laid off for about a year or two. I had a very part-time gig that paid me almost nothing. And luckily I had savings. So, but I decided I needed to get in a better headspace and not go into scarcity and fear and worry about how am I going to make my future, right? How am I going to
Mm-hmm.
be a bag lady was my, fear. So I decided to enroll in a course called the Financial Abundance Workshop. And it was by a woman who gave very practical tips on budgeting and how to think about investing and how to manifest also. She went in that realm. And so I don't know what the topic was that day. It was like a 6-week course. I was driving home. I just got into this space, that fullness energy. And I go, I wonder how I could get paid for being me and what I love to do, because the job I got laid off from, I was not happy in. It was making me a pretzel, a corporate pretzel, and I just didn't like that. And then the very next day, I get a call randomly from someone I didn't think knew me very well, but he was, a mentor, a marketing mentor of a colleague of mine. And he said to me, "Hey, Laura, I was thinking about you because I was just talking to my buddy Steve, and Steve has a position for a director of marketing coaching at this firm he runs for financial advisors." Now, I had just come out of financial advisor, working in the financial services. I am a coach and I love marketing. And and this guy trained me in his marketing. I took the job. It was a perfect job for me. I could work remotely. And this was like in the early 2000s before anybody was working remotely. I was working remotely as a marketing coach and I was being trained in like the best strategies for financial advisors. And I knew the industry. And I was like, wow, I got paid for being me. And one of the things I love is learning. Another thing I love is marketing. Next thing I love is coaching, So it's like, that's me. And I got to make my own time, and it was great. So, just getting into that mindset and evaluating your worth, not based upon your bank account, is huge, right? Huge.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I love that you shared that story. And I think what really resonated with me there is that you said that when you were in your car, you are in your fullness of feelings. And it's interesting because there's this workshop, play shop that I do called Life Design. And when I help women is really to connect to the future they really want to create. And I tell them, let's create a board, but I don't call it a vision board. I call it a bliss board because I want to just bring all those feelings into it and really see it. And it's so interesting how so many came back to me later, like, it happened. It happened. Like what I just did, it happened. Like literally, I lost a big contract because it happened because the woman got a better like opportunity. And I'm like, I'm so happy for you. That's so great because you tapped into something within yourself that created that. And so even with my clients, I said, when you're gonna get into a sale call or like a job interview, dance, do something that's so fun that you enjoy, that you just bring all that feminine power within yourself. And then you just go there and just be you and just answer your question and then release all expectations. Because the worst thing that people do is that even when they talk, they don't feel it is unconscious, is that they reek of desperation. I really need this contract. I really need this job. I really need this client. And people can feel energy. Like we're humans, like we feel energy of each other. It's just some of us have it unconsciously, and others who work on their feminine power and their intuition, they can really feel it more strongly. And so just allow yourself to be in your fullness, exactly what Laura just shared in her story. She was just excited, like she just got a great workshop and she's in her fullness. I can be paid for being myself. And I know it's possible, right? And the moment you create that, then money becomes the byproduct. See, Laura didn't even mention money. She just said, oh, it
Yeah.
has all the ingredients of what I need. And so money became the byproduct of that because she was already in the flow without having any expectation.
And I just want to kind of wrap up with another element of what you're talking about here, which is without expectation means I trusted. I
Mm-hmm.
trusted that, I didn't have to figure it out. I just
Yes.
wondered. More than even being in the fullness. I had left this class feeling in a hopeful state. I just was in a curiosity mode. I was like, I wonder how I could. And yes, I said, And then I went into the feeling of that would feel really good to just be me, be paid. And then I let it go without like putting any expectation, like you said, on it, but really trusting that it's all going to work out, trusting this loving universe that we are fully supported, and that if it's meant to be, I will be shown the perfect way. I will be shown the perfect way where I can serve, where I can be me. And that's all the universe wants for us. Yes.
Yes. And you know what was the interesting thing that I think you had too, like which I think it's so critical for all women to have? You were open to receive.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That was, I think
100%.
it's a big one because a lot of it's like, I want, but like they're so blocked. But you were like, I'm curious, but I'm also open to receive without trying to figure out the how.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I love that.
So
So
getting there is not a step-by-step process. It's
mm-mm.
about considering and slowing down to know where you're at and what you want to shift. And if it's receiving is the block, you'll have to identify that. You breathe into that, and then you practice receiving in baby steps. And we'll do
Yeah.
a whole episode on receiving. But this was just really great ideas, food for thought, for getting into the flow, letting go of the struggle, trusting that you will be taken care of it and your bank account will grow. And it has nothing to do with your value of your worth. You are magnificent. You are amazing. And we are just here to remind you and reflect that back to you.
So to finish, I would love to hear what is your favorite money affirmation, Laura?
I love the affirmation. People love to give me money, and I get paid for just being me.
That's beautiful. The one that I love for me that I read all the time is everything that I need, I already have. Everything that I have is all that I need. Anything I desire, I will receive because my reality, I'm the creator of my own reality.
Beautiful.
It's just like, yeah, it just, you're the creator of your life, and you are able to create that flow of money that we just talked about.
Yeah.
So,
And have fun with it. Let it go. Be curious.
and be open.
And open. Mwah.
Thanks, everyone. See you at the next episode. Ciao.
Ciao.
Thank you for being part of our community.
Listen to the next episode of Feminine Pulse on your favorite podcast app.
We welcome your questions and have some amazing gifts for you
At femininepulse.com.